this is Ashley.
And we're going to do our fourth food chemistry video on coffee.
Coffee. Did you know that it actually helps increase concentration, decreases fatigue, and gives you better memory?
Coffee is a good source of antioxidants too.
And college students, they drink on average 3 cups of coffee each day.
Coffee is one of the only reasons many people get up in the morning.
I hope you enjoy our video on coffee. When someone mentions coffee, what is the first thing that comes to mind? Caffeine. The pure form of caffeine can be deadly. It's easy to underestimate its power. This is where most of the deaths come from. This white powder is also why the world produces more than 16 billion pounds of coffee beans per year. It's actually an alkaloid plant toxin, like nicotine and cocaine. Plants use it to kill bugs, which I think is pretty cool. Have you ever wondered how caffeine affects our brain? Well, it stimulates by blocking neuroreceptors for the sleep chemical adenosine. It binds with adenosine receptors in the brain, so when the sleep chemical is blocked by caffeine, the result is you being awake. Here's a quick video from AsapSCIENCE further explaining it.
Whenever you're awake, a chemical called adenosine slowly accumulates in your brain, and this adenosine binds to receptors which slow down brain activity. Ultimately, the more adenosine there is, the more tired your brain feels, which makes sense as the longer you're awake, the more fatigued you become. Conversely, while you sleep, the concentration of adenosine declines, gradually promoting wakefulness. But it turns out that the caffeine in your coffee is incredibly similar to adenosine in structure. The caffeine works its way through your bloodstream and into your brain, where it starts to compete and binds with adenosine receptors. But because it's not adenosine, the sleepiness effect isn't felt. Adenosine can no longer bind, meaning its calming properties are diminished, which is great for you when you're feeling tired. However, with long-term use of caffeine, your brain responds by creating more adenosine receptors, which means more caffeine is required to elicit the same response. It also means that when you try to quit drinking coffee or miss your daily intake, you might experience some withdrawal symptoms and feel more tired than you would have before you ever drank coffee. But
caffeine is the energy part of the drink that makes you feel like you could fly to the moon and back. Unless you're a constant coffee drinker, then it doesn't affect you as much. Have people ever told you that energy drinks are bad for you because of the caffeine content? Well, they're wrong, because coffee has way more caffeine. If you take a Monster, it only has about 80 milligrams of caffeine, whereas a black coffee has 150 milligrams. The people aren't wrong when they say Monster's bad for you, because it's the sugar. But if you're putting sugar and cream in your coffee, then they're just both as bad for you. The energy we are given is called adrenaline. You know, the fight or flight hormone. It increases your heart rate and gets your blood pumping, and affects dopamine levels, which makes you feel happy. This is the same effect that cocaine does, but at a lesser degree. Caffeine is a drug, after all.
Hot water is a super solvent, filtering the flavors and oils out of the coffee bean. A good cup of joe is 98.75% water and 1.25% soluble plant matter. If you're at least 21 years old, have you noticed when you drink alcohol that you tend to need to use the bathroom more? It's the same with coffee. The caffeine in the coffee is a diuretic, so coffee newbies pee out the water quickly. Coffee junkies build up resistance. Citric acid. Easily recognizable in lemons, limes, and other citrus fruits, it's one of the 30 organic acids found in coffee. About half is destroyed in medium roasts, where it contributes coffee's bright acidity. Chlorogenic acid. This accounts for up to 8% of composition of unroasted coffee beans. The content decreases when coffee beans are roasted. This contributes to flavor and bitterness. It's responsible for a great number of health benefits, only if it's black coffee with nothing added. The health benefits are cardiovascular disease, Parkinson's disease, and many more.
There are a few aromas that can be found in a cup of coffee, and here are a few. But if these aromas are found in a higher content, they can be pretty repulsive. 2-ethylphenol. This substance creates a tar-like medical odor in your morning wake-up coffee. It's also a component of cockroach alarm pheromones, chemical signals that can warn the colony of danger.
Dimethyl disulfide. It's a natural product of roasting the green coffee bean. This compound is just at the threshold of detectability in brewed coffee. It's one of the compounds that gives human feces its odor.
Acetylmethylcarbonyl is that rich, buttery taste in your Daily Jolt. It is also the component of artificial flavoring in microwave popcorn. Trigolinene. Chemically, it's a molecule of niacin with a methyl group attached. It breaks down pyridines, which gives coffee its sweet, earthy taste. It also prevents the tooth-eating bacterium Streptococcus mutans from attaching to your teeth. It even fights against cavities.
3,5-decaffeolequinic acid. This is the cells in our brains are significantly protected from free radical damage. Fun facts. There is a lethal dosage of caffeine at 150 milligrams per kilogram of body, which means if you weigh 135 pounds or 61 kilograms, you would need about 9,150 milligrams of caffeine to overdose. To put that into perspective, an average cup of coffee contains 150 milligrams, so that would mean you would need to drink 61 cups of coffee at once, which is impossible because your stomach cannot hold that much liquid. Therefore, coffee cannot be lethal.
In the pure form of caffeine, there's about 5,000 milligrams versus the caffeine in our coffee, which is only 150 milligrams. Coffee is good, but you can get addicted. It's a physiological addiction, but it's nothing like other serious drugs. It's tough because while you're limiting yourself on the coffee intake, you suffer from withdrawals. You can get cranky and get a wicked headache, but like I said, it's nothing like the other serious drugs out there.
Thanks for watching our video on the chemistry of coffee. Got some bad news. This is our last food chemistry video for the semester.
Yeah, but I hope you enjoyed our videos of food chemistry.
And maybe stay tuned next semester for some more.